You're watching Global Toronto. This is Global News at 6.
Warm temperatures and heavy rain soak the GTA, how the weather is affecting roads, rinks, and the slopes. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Catherine Ward. Heavy rain and fog took over the GTA today. Environment Canada issued rainfall warnings across much of the region, urging residents to watch for flooding in low-lying areas. Lexi Benedict has more on the warm and wet weather.
It was a wet and slippery Sunday in the city, with significant rainfall warnings in effect across the GTA.
What we're seeing are temperatures that are a dozen degrees warmer than normal across southern Ontario. So it's turned the look of winter into the look of spring.
Philip says it's similar to what we saw this time last year, but it's hard to nail a trend for Ontario winter weather.
This is not something that is earth-shattering or we've never seen before.
OPP also reminding drivers to take their time on the roads.
We also want to watch our following distance, right? Increase that stopping distance is going to prevent another collision, right? So, the car in front of you, just maybe ease off the gas a little bit and let that car continue ahead and give it a good space so that you don't end up colliding with that car in case that car needs to brake quickly.
As for outdoor skating rinks across the city, many close today, but there is an online portal to find out which ones may be open. Here at Dagmar Ski Resort in Uxbridge, this is their busiest time of the year. And while the rain has impacted some operations and the amount of visitors, for most of the day today, it was business as usual out on the slopes.
We're a ski hill. We have to operate in rain or shine or, it doesn't really matter. We have to keep plugging through. Conditions like that, believe it or not, it's like skiing in butter. It's nice and smooth. I get a little wet, but it's still nice and smooth.
And on the last weekend of the year, even heavy rain didn't keep skiers and snowboarders away.
The hill's being slippery, so we go extra fast.
Lexi Benedict, Global News.
And as the rain tapers off tonight, the mild temperatures and slick conditions will stick around for a little while longer. So what can we expect as we head into the final week of the year? Here's weather specialist Kabir Bagaria. Hey, Kabir.
Thank you so much, Catherine. As we take a look at our forecast for Toronto, well, as we're seeing a rainy day today, a high of 6, which is well above seasonal, and this rain is going to continue throughout the day, folks. Let's talk a bit about what this is going to entail. Now, this is a system here we're seeing through the afternoon impacting much of the Golden Horseshoe. It's going to walk its way through, continuing through the overnight period, eventually dissipating as we go closer into the night tonight and early morning into Monday. Now, expect a rain-snow mix depending on where you are. But of course, Peterborough can see a little bit of this here going through your Monday, so be advised of that on the roads on your way to work. Kingston will see a trickle of this as well, mostly on the rainier side as we hover around that freezing mark with a cloudy day for Tuesday and then another rain-snow mix going through into your Tuesday night before eventually turning into just snowfall as the temperature starts to descend. Now, how much rain can we be expecting? Well, Toronto's going to see about 9 millimeters here. Peterborough will see quite a bit more, actually at 18, Kingston at 14 millimeters through Wednesday into the new year. Now, over the next 7 days here, this is what I meant. New Year's Eve at 3 degrees and then eventually cooling off as we take a look at 2025.
Thanks, Kabir. One person is dead and 3 others injured after a highway crash.
Well, from the Sky Tracker Weather Center, I'm Kabir Bagaria. Thank you so much for tuning in for a look at our forecast, not just for Toronto, but of course for the entire nation. Going to 6 degrees for the overnight, folks, and I'll tell you more about that as we look at this system bringing a lot of rain, washing away that snow, continuing through the overnight, eventually becoming a rain-snow mix for the morning of Monday, and then moving into cloudy periods and more rain going into, well, the new year, folks. Feels weird saying that, but let's talk about it. In terms of precipitation, this is how much we can be expecting for much of eastern Canada. In fact, rainfall warnings are in effect for southern Ontario, in addition to Ottawa, with a fog advisory in place, expecting that to dissipate through your Monday morning as well, and a freezing rain warning in place for the Gaspé as well. Now, for the west, it's a different story. Things are remaining relatively calm here. We're seeing temperatures remaining at seasonal. In fact, we're not seeing very much activity at all, except for a little bit of higher elevation snowfall for the Rockies, but nothing really serious there to report on at the moment. 7 degrees is your high for Vancouver with rainfall continuing. We're expecting Edmonton to go to -7 for tomorrow, -3 for Calgary. A cool start to your week as we look at Saskatchewan, Saskatoon sitting at just about 6, Regina at 7, and a nice sunny day, -3 for Winnipeg. Right around the freezing mark for Thunder Bay for your Monday, and eventually 4 is going to be the high for the city of Toronto. Anticipating, of course, more rain on the horizon, but dissipating throughout the day. As we go out toward the east, St. John's 1 degree, cloudy as well. Charlottetown sitting at 6, Fredericton at 9, Halifax at 6 degrees Celsius respectively, expecting more rain. For today's highlights though, well, 7 was the magic number as we saw this system that we had to contend with all day long, with heavy periods of rain continuing through the afternoon into the evening, and then through the overnight period going through your Monday, we'll see this start to taper off. Peterborough is going to see a bit more of that rain turning to rain and snow eventually going through your Monday morning, and then a second system bringing more of a rain and snow mix as well as cloud cover through the middle of your week into New Year's Day. I know, we're already there, folks, and that's going to continue to get even cooler and cooler as we talk about, well, what is the day tomorrow? And of course, the 7-day forecast. I'm going to tell you that in just a sec. Expect winds to increase about 35 kilometers an hour going through your day tomorrow. But this is really what I wanted to mention. Check this out. These are your precip totals continuing through your Wednesday, up to about 12 millimeters for the city of Toronto, the Golden Horseshoe as well. And this is what you're going to see. A decrease in temperatures becoming more and more seasonal as we get into the last couple of days in 2024. For tonight, expect temperatures to sit closer to 3 degrees with some nice rainfall continuing, a high of 5 for tomorrow. And zooming on in here, this is what it's going to look like for your Monday. Here's our picture for our nice dog walking forecast. Check this out. What a sweetheart. This is Jackson in Muskoka. Folks, bundle up for that walk tomorrow morning.
Rain and fog took over the GTA today. Environment Canada issued rainfall warnings across much of the region, urging residents to watch for flooding in low-lying areas. Lexi Benedict has more on the warm and wet weather.
It was a wet and slippery Sunday in the city, with significant rainfall warnings in effect across the GTA.
What we're seeing are temperatures that are a dozen degrees warmer than normal across southern Ontario. So it's turned the look of winter into the look of spring.
Philip says it's similar to what we saw this time last year, but it's hard to nail a trend for Ontario winter weather.
This is not something that is earth-shattering or we've never seen before.
OPP also reminding drivers to take their time on the roads.
We also want to watch our following distance, right? Increase that stopping distance is going to prevent another collision, right? So, the car in front of you, just maybe ease off the gas a little bit and let that car continue ahead and give it a good space so that you don't end up colliding with that car in case that car needs to brake quickly.
As for outdoor skating rinks across the city, many closed today, but there is an online portal to find out which ones may be open. Here at Dagmar Ski Resort in Uxbridge, this is their busiest time of the year. And while the rain has impacted some operations and the amount of visitors, for most of the day today, it was business as usual out on the slopes.
We're a ski hill. We have to operate in rain or shine or, it doesn't really matter. We have to keep plugging through. Conditions like that, believe it or not, it's like skiing in butter. It's nice and smooth. I get a little wet, but it's still nice and smooth.
And on the last weekend of the year, even heavy rain didn't keep skiers and snowboarders away.
The hill's being slippery, so we go extra fast.
Lexi Benedict, Global News.
And as the rain tapers off tonight, the mild temperatures and slick conditions will stick around for a little while longer. So what can we expect as we head into the final week of the year? Here's weather specialist Kabir Bagaria. Hey, Kabir.
Well, thanks so much, Catherine. As we take a look at a relatively mild night where the rainfall continues, eventually dissipating, though, through the overnight and becoming hopefully what will be a bit of a calmer day. This is what we've experienced in southern Ontario going through our Sunday evening into our Monday. And this is what we have in store. So tonight we'll continue to see these bands of rain pass through, especially for Kingston and Peterborough. And then eventually a couple of bouts of rain and some possibilities for a mix of rain and snow as we see temperatures cool off throughout the day. Now, of course, this will be a cloudy couple of days before seeing a second set of rain-snow mixes. And, of course, The possibility for more rainfall going through your Tuesday night into your Wednesday, continuing through Wednesday afternoon as well. So it's going to be a very interesting weather event going through the next couple of days and ringing in the new year with the rain. We're expecting to see about 8 millimeters of rain continuing for Toronto through Wednesday morning. Now, over the next 7 days, this is what I wanted to mention to you. So we're taking a look at a mild Monday, a mild last day of 2024 at 3 degrees, before then cooling off. We'll see some increase in winds as well throughout the week, but then eventually things will taper off, going into more seasonal temperatures for the first weekend of 2025.
Thanks, Kabir. A man is in hospital.
From the Sky Tracker Weather Center, I'm Kabir Bagaria. Thank you so much for tuning on in as we take a look at the forecast, not just for Toronto, but for southern Ontario and the rest of the country. Folks, overnight tonight, it's going to be a cool night, 6 degrees, more mild than what we are used to seeing at this time of year because, frankly, it is above our seasonal temperatures. But more seasonal temps are on the way. Let's talk about what we've been experiencing. Through the weekend, we've seen quite a bit of rain, and this system is now making its way up the St. Lawrence, impacting Atlantic Canada. You can see here for the overnight, Quebec City is going to see this, Ottawa has seen this, and of course, going through midnight into your day tomorrow, it is mostly going to be affecting the Maritimes and Atlantic Canada later on in the day. A second system here impacting southern Ontario and Quebec through your Wednesday morning as well, turning to a rain-snow mix, and of course, quite a bit of this precip building up as we go through into our Wednesday. But it's the complete opposite for the West Coast, where things are pretty tight, high pressure, keeping everything nice and glued together. In fact, we're not seeing very much activity there. We'll see some rain toward the middle of the week along the BC coast, and we might see that sprinkle into the interior ever so slightly. But overall, folks, it is not a massive weather story on the West Coast for the next couple of days. In fact, Whitehorse minus 14, in complete contrast, Vancouver at 7 with some rainy periods possible. Edmonton at minus 7, Calgary at minus 3, and continuing along here, let me move on over and show you Saskatoon at minus 6, Regina at minus 7, and sunny skies are in store for Winnipeg, coming in at minus 4 there. Now for Toronto, a high of 5, Ottawa at 6, Montreal at 8 degrees Celsius, and folks, we're looking at 1 lonely degree for St. John's, almost 10 for Fredericton. Now, for today's highs, we were sitting at just about 8, but for the day coming up for Monday, well, this is what you can expect. So take a look at more rain making its way within the region, a rain-snow mix developing for your Monday morning, and then continuing along the Golden Horseshoe, eventually dissipating to a cloudy Tuesday. In the afternoon, more rain coming in the form of rain and snow. It'll be right around that freezing mark, and then eventually will start to dissipate, turning into snow going through into Wednesday, which, by the way, is New Year's Day. I know, crazy to be saying that right now. And that is going to continue through the new year into 2025. This is what your day looks like for tomorrow. 8 degrees with a low of 3, cooling off for New Year's Eve and into New Year's Day. Some gusty temperatures for Thursday as well, sitting at 0, and then eventually cooling off as we get into the first few days of the new year. And now, folks, let's take a look at my favorite segment. Of course, we're looking at the overnight and then our dog walking forecast, folks. This is my absolute favorite. Check this little sweetheart out. This is Jackson in Muskoka. If you're going for a walk tomorrow morning, be careful. It's going to be nice and cold.